These grounds are hallowed, forged by history and tradition, a century in the making. Its pavement the path to glory, its walls the punisher of miscalculation, its faces forever recognizable, characters of courage, and its stories unforgettable.
Danny Sullivan gets him! Danny Sullivan gets him down! No, he's squirreling! No, he's spinning! Danny Sullivan spins! Did he make a move at the finish? He's making a move! No! No! No!
Who's gonna win? The checkered flag is out. Goodyear makes a move. Little Al wins. Fight.
You just don't know what indie means.
This December, those hallowed grounds go virtual, pieced together by millions of pixels that capture every corner, every seat, and every crack along its surface. True to a real-life counterpart in every sense, the cars, perfectly drawn to scale, their sounds immaculate. Drivers from across the globe come together in competition and in friendship for one goal, one dream, to win and become part of history, to write their own chapter, to see through that they shall never be forgotten, to ensure their story is unforgettable.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The alignment looks good and the green flag is out. They're off. The fake 500 is on.
But look at Kevin Click on the
Kevin
outside.
Click.
Wow.
Kevin Click out on pump day, makes it in as an alternate, and now he is leading the fake 500.
Click tries to squeeze, contact. Checker flag waits over the stand. At the stripe, another close finish, and this time it's set to Merchant.
Checkered flag is out. Brian Blackford puts it on the pole. Oh no!
Crash in turn one.
He got off a 4 extremely good. What? He had a fuel!
It's elegant. It's erratic. The one who can dance gently amongst the chaos and master their craft shall etch their name in eternity and shall never be forgotten.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fake 500, presented by Wicked Brands, but this is the Crescent Donut Patriot 100. And my displays, there we go, now we got it. Baden, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm ready to get this deal rolling.
You and me both, man. It's been a heck of a week. We've had a really good group of cars. We've had if you guys didn't see Bump Day and you didn't see Apex Pole Day and Carbon Safety Technologies Bump Day, you really missed a good weekend. Some very dramatic pieces this weekend. We saw a lot of guys on the outside looking in, a lot of guys that were on the inside that put themselves out. But the Patriot 100, it's always a quick race, 40 laps. Looks like we've got a pretty decent turnout for the non-qualifiers race. Basically, racing for a little bit of cash and the opportunity to potentially start the Wicked Brains Fake 500 on Thursday. So. A lot on the line for this as cars are getting in order. Zane's getting a picture ready to go, and yeah, we're excited. Excited. Got tonight for this. Tomorrow, same channels. Actually, not same channels. Dirt Vision. It's going to be on Dirt Vision Facebook. It's going to be on everywhere. So. We're going to blast that thing all over the place. So some dirt sprint cars from Kokomo tomorrow night for the Epperson painting, night before the 500. Absolutely cannot wait. Just ready to get this thing going. Finally, we've seen a lot of practice, seen a lot of qualifying. Now it's time to go race.
Yeah, I still can't believe part of our event's going to be on Dirt Vision. That is just absolutely insane to me.
Yeah, considering we were just, to be real honest, between me, you, and Zane, this was this was started off as just kind of a project, just something to do to pass the time in May, and now we're in our third running, and being real honest, already kind of starting to plan for the fourth one. So we're already looking forward to that. Next year may see a couple of changes here and there, but yeah, huge thanks to Speed Force Studios putting together the broadcast for qualifying. You'll see them tomorrow basically on Dirt Vision, and then Thursday for the big show. So really looking forward to it. Tonight's going to be a pretty good precursor to what we're going to see. I know a lot of these guys have started to make long fuel runs. Tires are starting to become a little bit of an unknown with the new tire model. Yeah, so this is going to be a good test for what we have going on for Thursday. So the Thursday field, every single car broke the track record, which we kind of expected. Kyle May said he missed the show by, what was it? 0.009 miles an hour over 4 laps.
Almost nothing.
Yeah, so I mean the field is extremely tight. Probably going to see a lot of pack racing like normal, but yeah, we're just ready to go. I'm excited. We got a couple minutes before race time here. Minutes before race time, Zane's giving these guys final instructions. Just very good week. Big thanks to everybody. Chris Wheeler Sports, Motorsports Consulting, being the presenting sponsor for every race this week that we have going on. I think after Bump Day, he's been hooked. I think we got him interested for years to come. Big thanks to Matt Hanninger over at Wicked Brands. Does a ton for sim racing, loves this stuff. Just big thanks to those, and again, still sponsorship still open for the rest of the week. So we're gonna have some. Because we've got somebody doing a plug check on the front straightaway.
Broad stretch.
Yeah, making sure the compression's correct. Making sure the compression's correct, but just me and Baden tonight. We'll probably hear Zane every now and then. He'll be doing race control mainly, but just me and Baden tonight. Justin Prince and Chase Roudman will actually be on the broadcast tomorrow. So me and Baden get to kind of relax a little bit, which is
nice.
Yeah, it's kind of different. Aaron Ralph's in the chat. Glad to see you're in the chat and not on the racetrack tonight. So congrats again for sticking it the big show. He says tire wear will definitely be a factor this time around. I saw from Monday's practice and a packed tires wear. That's what we like to hear. We would love to be able to see some tire strategy come into play, some fuel strategy come into play. It's going to be it's a different dynamic. This is the third running, but this is kind of the first iteration on this tire. So we just again appreciate everybody for coming out this week. We've got a strong field, really strong field, and it looks like we're getting ready to head over into the race where they're going to grid up and do battle for 40 laps. Again, big huge thank you, as it looks like we are switching over to race time. So we will go ahead and give our starting lineup. On the pole, Kyle May, the world's tallest sprint car driver. First man out, Aiden Bierlein, World of Outlaw Series pro driver, outside row number 1. Ryan Broderick and Clint Stone, row number 2. Jeffrey Stewart, I think, was probably the heartbreak of the month. Sat around the bubble spot, had good speed all month, just sat around in the bubble spot and got himself caught out, unfortunately. Jackson Steele, again, same kind of thing as Jeffrey. They were both quick, just didn't have enough attempts when it counted. Darrell Weininger starts 7th. Giles Chatelaine starts 8th. Curtis Miller 9th. Matthew Erdman 10th. Casey Miller in 11th. He's your Pretend Racing Online, your Pro Series 360 sprint car driver. He is their champion. So he starts off in 11th. Jacob Mann, the son of the Hoosier Rocket, rolls off in 12th.
Hang on, we're not going green.
Andrew Winings rolls off in 13th after he was quicker than what that showed. He went for a spin cycle, unfortunately, on his last attempt. And then Carlos Ramos rounds out the field. But this is your fake 500 field, or your Patriot 100 field. And a big thanks, too, to Crescent Donuts. This is their third year with us, and really, really do appreciate everything that they do. If you're ever in the Bloomington, Indiana area, donuts. Extremely good donuts.
They sent them to the Dusick last year, kept everybody up there alive. That was good courtesy of them.
I'll tell you what, Daniel Zagers, he's a 2-time veteran. Couldn't run this year because he had some football to ref. But he had some football to ref, so he couldn't get in the race. But Old Fashions, I'm pretty sure, saved me in his life that weekend. So, not to hijack it too, but real quick too, if you guys haven't seen it, beerforcharity.com, make sure you head up and check that out as well. We raise money for Children's Hospital, Riley Children's Hospital. Actually, we did a pre-sale on some Parker Price Miller t-shirts or hooded t-shirts. Super nice stuff too. And all the money for that went to lymphoma research. So raised $1,000 for that, which is honestly way more than what we thought we were going to get. So the racing community just never ceases to amaze me. But yeah, we basically do it during the Chili Bowl, and beer sponsorships and apparel and all sorts of different stuff. So check that out if you can. So it looks like we are going to be 1 to green this time by. Nice thing, too, that they've added, and thank you to iRacing, you can now set number of caution laps. So we're not going to see these 4 or 5 lap caution fests, so we can get right back to the racing action, which is going to be fantastic.
Nerve-wracking for the guys trying to crunch the fuel number there.
Yeah, but that makes it more exciting.
Way more exciting.
Ooh, I love Indy.
This is always fun. I love Indy.
I love Indy. I love everything about Indy. Got a decent group of cars, 14 starters, which pretty much is about what we usually expect. We had 60 enter in, 51 or so took time, so most of the guys are here, but we got some fast cars coming from the back. Jeffrey Stewart's going to be one to watch out at row number 3. Kyle May off the pole. As long as he can keep it calm, he's going to be in pretty good shape, and put yourself in as a first alternate to get into the Wicked Brands Fake 500 on Thursday for 500 laps, or 500 miles, and just finally race time. A week. Race time.
Here we go. Pace car's about to dip off here. Lights are out. Pace car off. Waiting for the command. I may bring them down really, really slow. There's the green flag, and they're going to fan out now. Kyle May brought the field down incredibly slow there. Almost too slow for Indianapolis, really. I mean, you want these cars wound up when you get to 1, and you kind of fan out there.
Oh, boy.
Already had one.
Had one bend, so we'll go back and see if we can find that.
Oh, looks like Jacob Mann got loose up there on the high side.
Yeah, we'll go back and watch this in replay. But that's pretty much exactly what happened. Mann got in there underneath, thought about making it 3 wide, got tight, and then lost it. So Jacob Mann's had a heck of he's had a rough couple of weeks here, as these guys are going to get back around. He's had a rough couple of weeks. appreciative that he came out and just not. Every once in a while, you have those. I mean, heck, let's look at. There's been a lot of guys in Indy that have had some rough weeks.
Roger Penske's even had bad years at Indy.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest one. And ironically, this fake 500 year is probably the closest that we've ever had to 1996, right after that year.
Which means Buddy Lazier's going to win.
I would love it if Buddy Lazier won. It's just basically a lot of rookies. In these cars, like Aaron said in the chat, these cars, it's difficult on the start because, and especially when the field comes down that slow, that's kind of, we'll see that a lot on Thursday and in Discord, basically, and over race chat, Zane is talking to these guys the entire time. Pick up the pace, spread out a little bit. Indy is not like a sprint car race where it's, be all up on the guy's gearbox. It's 500 miles, breathing room, give it some take. Give and take is important. So
now that doesn't apply here today, but it's still 100 miles and they go by quick with this car. So you've got to be aggressive, but you've got to make it to the end. That's any race you run, but especially here. 100 miles goes by fast here, but it's still a long race.
Yeah, I mean, well, and we've seen it actually in years past where just because you didn't win this, we've seen the third place guy. I think the first year Mike Razimus was the third place finisher in the Patriot 100 and came back to, I think, finish third or fourth in the fake 500. Normally there's no provisionals or anything like that in Indianapolis, but we want to have a 33 car field, and every once in a while there's been a guy that's had, computer go out or, something real silly, happens, or business opportunity came up. I think Garrett Smithley one year actually got the call to go run a late model somewhere, so he's like, yeah, kind of have to go. Understand.
Yeah.
But that's what these guys are racing for. A little bit of cash, but mainly the right to be that first alternate if somebody does drop out, to get yourself into the field. So it's still an important race. It sets the tone for the week, and we'll and it looks like pace car is getting ready to dip off and.
Getting ready here. Let's see if we have a little bit faster start this time. It doesn't look like it. Aiden Beerline's going to bring him down really slow again. See, I don't think being this bunched up and coming down the front stretch this slow works that well at Indy. I think we need to start winding them up here about turn 4, like is tradition at Indy.
Well, and you saw it. Jeff Stewart kind of stayed off the rear gearbox of Jackson Steele, trying to get himself a little bit of breathing room to get out there and let the race start coming to you, let it start settling.
And that's smart racing. That's what you got to do here early on, because guys, it's no matter what you're doing, guys are always going to be hectic at the start. They just can't help it. Somebody's got to be up front, and so when you do what Jeff just did there, you show a good race management. You're smart enough to realize this doesn't matter right now. I got to worry about the end.
Yeah, and Kyle Mays or Ryan Broderick is he's honking at the bit here. He's wanting to take the lead going down into turn number 1. So
just like I said, there's somebody that wants to lead the race, and today it's Ryan Broderick.
Well, and we were talking about this. There is a fuel limit on these cars that we've put in place because we want to enforce pit stops. The first year running it, you could run almost half the race on a tank of fuel. Now we've got it to where you can't do that. But these guys mixing it up front. Clint Stone's got a lot of experience in this car on this racetrack. He's poking it around the top side. He's wanting to get away from these guys. So Clint Stone making mad money moves coming down the front straightaway here. He's trying to get himself to the lead with Kyle May giving him a push.
Now, we've got Ryan Broderick and Clint Stone leading this deal. Those guys have a lot of laps with this car around here. We've got some experience leading this. Kyle May's got a little bit. He's ran the Patriot a couple times, but Aiden's kind of the big question here. He's got a lot less experience with this car here, and he almost looks a little too aggressive right now for this stage in the race.
Yeah, and I think and part of that too is just learning what the car's capable of doing. And as we see, you see the tribute to Lone Star JR coming into the picture. So Jeffrey's getting up there to start picking up the pace as this lead pack is really just taken off, which is not all that shocking. But Beerline's trying to give Broderick a heck of a push. Clint Stone's making it work around the high side though, and honestly, from what we've seen before, these races have been won around the top side of the racetrack before, which is something you don't see in real life. But Kevin Click the first year won it around the outside. Top or the bottom lane is just, there's so much quicker or so much shorter, but you can carry your momentum. Now they're getting single file here. It's going to be interesting to see who gets tight going into the corner though, without any air over the wings.
See, it seems like we've talked about this earlier in the month. It seems like this car's a lot more settled in traffic now, a lot happier, as opposed to where it used to be, where it would get almost really aero tight and then snap loose. We saw some of that before. Now it doesn't seem to be as big of an issue, but we're going to see what it does on the tire throughout the run here.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see what these guys' tires look like after 40 laps, because that's going to be about the length of a pit stop. Honestly, if you've been watching practice or doing any practice, the fuel number that's in there is just barely enough to make it 40 laps. So these guys are you want to be drafting some, and if you're punching that hole in the air, you might not have enough fuel.
Not the place to be.
No, so you've got to really be mindful, and that's what's Kyle May, Jeffrey Stewart, Giles Chat, they're all doing the smart thing. Let these guys go wear their equipment out. As I say that, Jeffrey goes screaming by Kyle May up into the 4th spot. So,
well, what I'm looking at right now,
got a spinner behind us.
Crash, South Short Chute, big wreck.
We'll go back and see. We just saw that on the bottom of our screen there. As they come down the front straightaway. Watch Jackson steal that white car towards the back. Oh, he just got loose and got down on the apron and spun it.
Yeah, he got into one way too deep. Way too low to make that work, and he got loose. Took Giles Chatelaine with him there. That's not what you want to see.
Did his best Rick Mears impression, though. So
yeah.
That's that counts for something.
Points for that.
For something. Yeah. Current top 10, Clint Stone leading, moved up 3 spots. Kyle May shifted back into 5th. But again, no harm, no foul right now.
So
Clint
right
Stone's
now,
trying to save some fuel off the pace car right now.
The thing I'm looking at though, with this lead pack, they're bunched together, they're racing hard, but the pace is not high. The pace is nowhere near in some of these tow trains. I'm wondering if you're like a Ryan Broderick or a Clint Stone, maybe the thought is get out ahead of them, use the downforce, and use that to not burn the right front off the car.
Well,
there might be something to this, and then by the time you let these guys shuffle in front of you so you can get back to get your fuel number, these guys have burned up their stuff, and the pace is going to come back to you anyways.
Well, and you see it here on lap times. We were just on board rolling around there with Broderick. His fastest lap time was a 47.0.
And that's way
down. We saw guys in, and they're coming in for fuel. So interesting dynamic here. We may be using up a little bit more fuel in the draft than what we thought. I'm going to make sure they make it to the end. Maybe put on a new set of rubber to see as well. But we're seeing laps. Jeffrey's fastest lap is 46.5 in the draft. We've seen guys, as most of the field comes in, we've seen guys running 45s we were wondering if we were going to see a 200-mile-an-hour lap here this year, but as these guys come off a pit road, so this is going to shuffle up the field just a little bit. Interesting start, I think, here, but maybe that's the smart way to go. Or if you're Aiden and Kyle, you might with a little bit less fuel in the thing, you might be able to go to the finish with these yellows.
Yeah, because they've got a lot of yellow laps now. We already know that like they're close on fuel, and they might be able to make it right now with the cautions they've had. If you're those two, later on you come down and get tires, you might have a real advantage. If nothing else, you have a more stable race car, and that I think is going to be big here at the end. These guys may have come down a little early.
Yeah, it'll but again, we like the strategy, but that does. Again, this is kind of almost a test pilot for Thursday. I know a couple of the elbows up guys were pretty much they're doing a test session for Shea Paolo, who made it into the show, and I know there's a couple others doing the same testing run for later on this week. So if we're going to go right around 40 laps or a little bit less on fuel and tires, that adds a whole different element into this, because last year we did not have, we would get a pit stop every 50 to 60 laps. So we're going to have a lot more action on pit road this year. Hank Silver says data for the TBE group, nothing. So their test pilot unfortunately got himself 10 laps of practice there, and that was about it.
Hank has also said that the spotter just fired the driver.
Yeah, so
he said at least he has a nicely painted helmet to shield the crime.
Well,
so that's bad news out of the TBE stable.
But to reset
bad news bears.
Reset your top 10. Aiden Beerline, your leader. Kyle May back up to second. Clint Stone third. Broderick fourth. Jeffrey Stewart rolls back out in fifth. So pretty much the top two stayed out. Everybody else pretty much stayed in line to come in and get a little bit of fuel topped off. So as we're getting ready to go back green here, I just love Indianapolis. I absolutely love Indianapolis. It's it's my favorite place in the world.
Yeah,
it's my favorite place in the world. That's a definite giving. So we will see what how this front four or front five or six really. Curtis Miller and Daryl Weininger and Erdman were all part of that second group. They were all part of that second group, so we'll see if they can draft themselves up towards the front a little bit as we come back down through the green once again on lap number. They'll be taking lap number 13 for the Crescent Donuts Patriot 100. Green flag is out. Race is on one more time.
So we'll see what the fuel difference does here for Beerline and May here early on. These guys have kind of they took off just a little bit on the field. I'm not sure if they just got a better start or if this fuel number is going to pay off for them. I guess we're going to find out. There's no doubt about that. Kyle May goes to the front, heading into the north end of the racetrack here.
Yeah, Kyle May.
The same four cars out front.
Yeah, Kyle May getting real sporty up front. And again, he's had such a tough week. He's had such a tough week. Gets real high coming off of two. As Winings looks like he's coming back out on the racetrack. He is currently 5 laps down. So he must have had himself a spinner at one point. But we'll go on board with Aiden Beerline here and see what, as he pokes it to the inside going into 3. He's
Roderick's
very
going to go with him here.
And Clint Stone just kind of
He's trying to
catbird
defend
seat.
2 lanes at once. Ooh.
Big lift out of Clint Stone down the straightaway. These cars are sucking up so much. You're having to lift down the straightaway just to keep them running. And 3 wide. Kyle May lifts going into 1. Smartest thing Kyle May's ever done.
That's smart. Yeah.
He made his first Eldora sprint car start this year, and he ran 1 lap up around the fence, and 1 lap up around the fence was like, nope, that's enough for me. So he's got some high side experience now.
Did it on accident.
Yeah, it was definitely not on purpose. Definitely not on purpose. But for those of you wondering at home, weather-wise, 118 degrees track temp, so it's very, very hot today. Sunny skies where we've been in partly cloudy for most of all qualifying. So hottest track temp that we've seen really all week. And that might play to another favor, too, or another factor of chewing these tires up and making these guys want to pit a little bit more.
I don't know how long this lead group can keep this up. They're getting really, really aggressive.
Yeah, this
oh,
race.
My.
Oh, boy. Broderick's way on the outside. This race, you know, we have a big one in the Patriot, or the Cresent Patriot 100 might be over pretty darn quick. Andrew Whiting might be in the running if he can just stay on the racetrack at this rate, because these boys are just... They're absolutely getting after it.
This is not good.
No. But you know what? This is, and now I think they all just realized how, Jeff, big bobble out of Jeff.
Wow.
Let's go back and watch
Somebody
that.
Got smart there.
Let's go back and watch that again from Jeff's in-car. Oh. Way loose again. So back to live action there, but it seems to be now that they're starting to kind of settle out. And then
this is intense.
This is you know, if you've ever watched the what this race came from, the Freedom 100. Back when it used to be on Carb Day, here at Fuel Injection Day, because, you know, copyrights and stuff. This is exactly how the Freedom 100 used to go. This is exactly 3 wide down the back straightaway going into turn 3, and they're... oh, boy.
Oh. You can't keep this up much longer.
Nope.
I like how Curtis Miller and Jeff Stewart got up in the mix of this, saw what was going on, and said, nah, I'll just fall back. 2 seconds will give me enough room to not be in the crash. And this is intense.
Yeah, this is 3 wide for probably about the 3rd lap, and then Kyle May takes the lead around the outside, going into turn number 1 past the Swedes.
And we're coming up on the halfway point.
Yeah, we're just now coming up on the halfway point, and these guys are running like it's the absolute last lap. So, what a... But you know what? These 6 guys out front, they know how to race. I mean, it's... For how tight it's been, you know what? I'm not going to say that. Nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it.
You going to put a hex on him here?
Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Pretty sure you just heard Zane come back in and say, nope, don't say that. So, halfway this time by.
Back to a 6-car race up here. Ryan Broderick's kind of moved back just a little bit, but Jeff Stewart and Clint Stone have closed up on this deal. Now you throw 2 extra cars in the mix. Let's see how they're going to manage this.
I'm fairly sure that Jeff and Curtis Miller did not drive back up here on purpose.
Yeah, I don't think they did.
I'm fairly confident that is not what they wanted to do. And they're just not getting into the mix, which I don't blame them. I mean, this is...
No.
You know, you're halfway.
Well, are you sure?
Well, yeah, no, man. Jeff making me look like an idiot. That it's if you're going to go, now's the time. Oh, Kyle May.
Oh,
no. There he goes.
Oh. And there it is.
We'll go back and
We
check.
were waiting for it.
Instant replay. We got a couple of different views from this one. He just missed his entry. He got up in the gray, about spun it, and then that's all she wrote.
I believe that when he tagged the side pod on Clint Stone's car there, I believe that's what sealed his fate. I think he was going to be okay. I think he was going to get out of that one, but he tagged Clint Stone on the way through. But truthfully, the damage to the side pod might be Clint Stone's saving grace for when the other four crash each other.
That very well could be. Here it is in slow-mo of Kyle getting into the corner, and there it just starts getting free, corrects, try to stay off your teammate, had it saved there, and then just kept on breaking loose, and then, almost Stan Foxed himself into the outside retaining wall, but unfortunate. But yeah, and it's just, I almost wonder, are we seeing guys that are just not necessarily being impatient, but with this tire model now comparatively to years past, they're just jumping into the throttle and it's buzzing the rear tires.
Well,
they're getting hot and moving around.
Kyle came across the transition into one at the most aggressive part. He was right up there on the wall, and he unloaded the car coming across, and the tires are more worn than anyone else in the field. He came across that, it unloaded the car, and then it just took off on him. That seems to be what happened there.
Jeff is really wanting to get out of this mix. He's heading back down pit road
once again. Did he take fuel last time and tires this time?
Kyle DeHart brings up a very good point. Maybe he's pitting for some new underbritches. That's a very good possibility. And
a cup of water, goggles, and new britches.
That's an important piece. Zane, race control. What are you thinking so far about the racing of what we've seen so far?
You want my honest opinion? It's dumb. I don't know why we're racing this hard with 20 to go, but I'm just race control, so.
Hey, I like it. As a fan, I love it.
As a fan, it's great, except they wreck, and then they all get upset that they wrecked, and, I told them at the beginning, it's 40 laps. It's a shorter race. They don't got 200 laps. It's 40. That's still a long time. That's almost an hour of driving and so.
Well, but I think the biggest thing for me is that the race looks the same as last year, but it looks pretty close to the same. But when the car is on edge, like they are, it seems like you can at least somewhat save it. Like you can, we saw Beerline getting a little bit low a couple times. We saw Broderick do it a couple times. Jeff about spun twice in the same corner and was able to gather it up. So it's just that learning aspect of, can you get through it? Can you run the race, without buzzing the rear tires up off the corner? Because that's really where everything has been so far. But Green's coming back out. Clint Stone, your leader. Aiden Beerline, Ryan Broderick, Curtis Miller. Curtis Miller probably with a little bit of side pod damage. But we'll see what happens here, as we've got about 15 to go. So the mileage running a tad bit short.
See what they do here. That might have been a wake-up call to some of these guys, or they're going to bunch back up and go at it like this. Either way, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Well, and I think that's, we know how Ryan Broderick is going to race. Ryan's going to be aggressive. We know, and Aiden about got it into the grass there. We know how these guys are going to race. It's just a matter of you have to play that risk versus reward. You know, we haven't risk versus reward right now. You know, if you're sitting in the top 3 right now and you're riding, you still have a chance no matter what. Aiden Beerline goes from 1st to 3rd, put himself back in line. Broderick with a little bit of the glitchies here, so that's definitely not something you want at 200 miles an hour down the back straightaway. But this lead pack of 3 cars broken away very solidly in front of Casey Miller and Curtis Miller. And then Jeffrey Stewart back there just kind of laying in the weeds. I think Jeff's probably the one that's got this thing the smartest so far. Of there is zero reason to get up there and mix it up right now, because the way these guys are racing, you can suck yourself back up to them, no problem. So when it's time to go, you can go.
Yeah, I still think this is too aggressive, but I guess the good news is we're professional spectators. We're not participants, so...
That's exactly right.
The only bad thing for Jeff is he's the only car in that pack that knows how to leapfrog back to a group. He's the only one that's got fake 500 experience in that group that he's in.
Yeah. But the way these guys are racing, I have a feeling that that was not our last caution.
Well, no, but I mean, look at it from the perspective of, again, Broderick does have race experience. Clint Stone has race experience. Them two have really, for the most part, given each other a lot of room. Aiden's been pretty aggressive, but he's been stable. He's not really put himself in a bad position, so to speak. So, really, yeah, this is aggressive, but at the same time, your closing speed is so high as we're going 3 wide down into turn number 3.
Sketchy.
So, you know, it's all about that learning stuff. Now Jeff's back up to 4th, and him and Casey Miller looks like they're hooking up and trying to leapfrog their way up towards the front. Jeff knows what he's supposed to be doing, drafting up with Casey to get a good run.
So it does look like when Beerline gets to the front of this pack, it looks like he's making this car absolutely as wide as possible. And when he does that, he's running basically single car speed and then taking the 2. Oh, here we go. All 3 of them at once. I think we were kind of expecting that. And Jeff Stewart, now your leader.
That is exactly what we were talking about, and we'll go back and watch that in instant replay and see exactly what transpired. And it's just...
I think we had 3 separate crashes there.
Broderick got loose. We'll go back and watch that again. But Broderick got a little tight. We'll go on board with him. He got a little bit tight, just tapped the left rear, and then Beerline just crashed on his own. But
yeah,
he's been flirting with that grass now for a long time. And that's just you flirt with disaster, and that's pretty much all it boils down to, unfortunately.
I guess I'll say this the way Uncle Bobby would. He spent all day down there trying to play around in the grass, and you just can't do that, Billy. This was bound to happen. That's what Uncle Bobby would say, right?
And you can see all the way to Terre Haute.
And you can see all the way to Terre Haute from up here.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing though about this race. We saw there's a lot of rookies in this field, and we saw a lot of those same mistakes early on in the years, or in the previous years. Not overly shocking. Not overly shocking at all. It's unfortunate. It's just part of it, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, for 30 laps, that was I was entertained, very entertained.
Oh yeah, oh the entertainment's not over.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. It's this has always been a race of attrition, and it's going to come down to the wire. So, but you know what? We talked about it before. Jeffrey Stewart, he knew it was coming. He stayed off, stayed back, kept his nose clean, did what he needed to do. You know, still got 10 laps left as we're getting ready to go green next time by. Yeah, I mean, Dustin says it best. These races, you know, just like in Indianapolis, Daytona, any 500-mile race, it is anything on these big ovals is not about pace. It's about survival. You know, when you were running the NASCAR 200 at Salem, it's not about if you can go out and lead 135 of the first 135 laps.
Yeah, that means nothing.
Yeah, the only one that pays is that last lap, and you've got to put you're spending all your time staying as close to you. When we run the little 500, the goal is you don't go a lap down. Stay on the lead lap as long as you possibly can, and you know, keep it going. You just stay on the lead lap. As long as you're in the lead lap, you're in contention, and this just boils down to exactly that. It's 100% that. And a lot of sprint car guys that run the sim, it's so used to greens out, stand on the hammer, let's roll. And when you're running races like this, it's a little bit different. So a lot of learning curves, and you know, hopefully Aiden will come back next year, and along with Kyle and Clint and everybody else. You know, the racing's been phenomenal. Definitely learning. That's the biggest thing. But green flag's back out.
Ten to go.
Here we go.
10 to go, 25 miles around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Now, here's the question. Jeff Stewart, we know, is smart enough to manage the end of this race. He knows where to put the car. He knows what you can get away with, what you can't. The rest of these guys, they just saw what happened up there with the three guys that have led all day. Does that put it in the back of their head that I've got to get to the last lap, and if I want to do something stupid, I'll do it then? You know, that's kind of what we're looking at now.
Absolutely. I mean, look at what Jeff just did, where before, you know, it was go into the corner 3 wide. No, lift, let them go, because look at the run. You're getting down the front straightaway. So these cars suck up so well. These cars suck up so well that it's just how it is.
There's a point where you just absolutely have to say, I'll let him go.
Yep.
He's going to come back to me. And I think these guys are doing a little better job of that. They're not, you know, pushing each other. They're not right up on the gearbox, anything like that. These guys are giving some breathing room to each other. They saw what happened, and they know that they've got to tick off a couple more laps here before they really get crazy.
Yeah, and again, you know, you look at these the 5 guys that are out there right now. Be smart. There's no reason to be. We're coming up to 7 to go. Not much time. It doesn't seem like there's not that much time, but you're talking about a 2.5 mile track, 47 second laps. Right now, as it sits, fastest lap of the race is barely enough to make the field right now. You know, so actually Jeff Stewart, fastest lap of the race, 46.444. So it's just a matter of when to push. That's the biggest thing. Jeff Smart.
I'm seeing there's some really smart racing up front right now.
Yeah, all the room in the world, but Clint Stone coming back at it.
It's aggressive, but it's smart, and this is really what you want to see up front here.
Yeah, I mean, it's aggressive, but it's smart.
Jeff gets tight.
Well, and are we starting to see tires falling off? Are we starting to see cars getting tight because of tires? That might have just been a pretty big lift out of Jeff to get away from danger, but Clint Stone 3 wide down the back straightaway to try to get himself back up to the race lead.
And if you see Jeff's running up there right up in the gray, we almost had a big one there, but Jeff's running just up in the gray. And I'm sure at this point in the race we're getting marbles forming up there. That could have been part of his problem down there in turn 1.
But yeah, I mean, but again, coming up to 5 to go now.
But Jeff's giving him plenty of room. He knows how skittish the car can get when you really start to push here. This is some smart racing here. And he's seen through the last few laps that Casey's not going to get stupid on him. Clint Stone has a little bit of damage. He's a little bit off the pace. All these guys have shown a lot of restraint. I think that's going to give them confidence here in this last 5 laps.
Well, and that's the thing, too. Casey's a pretty smart driver as well, at least, on the dirt side of things. Real smart. Doesn't do crazy things. Jeff with kind of a little bit of a block there to block the bottom side. So now we're going to go too wide into the corner. Rolls reverse. Jeffrey on the bottom and Casey up top. Casey not giving Jeff the same courtesy as what Jeff was giving him. So
that got real tight there. Jeff's backed up a little bit, but he's going to be able to put together a big run. Here it comes.
But is he going to get it right into the corner entry? That's going to be the main thing.
He's there, but just not quite enough. Let's see if he's got momentum here moving through the short chute. It's just not playing out for him here.
Erdman's on the move as well, but we saw Weininger and Curtis Miller spin there. Single car spins at the back of the field, so not going to throw the yellow here as we're coming up on 3 to go.
It's time to move into the mix. If you're these guys, you want to get right in the middle of this deal now. It's time to start to turn up the heat.
And Jeff again being pretty smart, but these top 4, this is pretty much it. This is your race right now.
And here comes Erdman. I think he's decided it's his go time. He's hit his number. He's ready to go. Now you start deciding, where do I want the race car at when we get here to this last lap? And these next 2 laps are about positioning yourself for that final lap.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, actually 3 to go this time by. 3 laps to go. It's a 4-car race. So they're all right there. It's just going to be a matter of can they give each other enough room to race where they need to. But Casey Miller down on the bottom just making it work. Car looks really stable down there as well. So his race pace was, in qualifying trim really didn't have, truthfully, anything for the field as far as making the show on speed. But in race trim, car is absolutely fantastic. So he's shown that he's got the speed to be up there, and now it's starting to get a little bit twitchy as they come down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go.
Pace still has not come up as much as you would expect. Erdman looks fairly stuck down there. I wonder if they've got that car too stuck and he just doesn't have enough to set up a run here.
Well, and that very well could be. But this is one of those races. I don't think you want to be leading it at the end. I really don't.
No.
I don't think you want to be leading it going into turn number 3. I think if you're, sitting 3rd or 4th, Erdman and Stewart really are right now, I think, right where you need to be. But if you're leading the race, it's hard to say that's, that's you don't want to be there. But here we go, coming to the white flag this time by
Erdman just showing the nose, but it's like he doesn't have enough speed on his own to quite get there. It's like the car's just a little too stuck, but he might be getting ready to show his hand now. We'll see going down the backstretch here.
And Jeffrey looks a little bit tight now. I almost wonder if running the top side of the racetrack for as long as he did wore out the right front, but we're getting ready to go, finishing this race out, and Jeffrey up the middle. Oh boy, Jeffrey Stewart makes a statement from 4th to 1st through the middle. But is he going to get a good enough run to come off the corner and win the Crescent Donut Patriot 100?
That 72 car is about to get really wide. That 72 car is going to be really, really wide. Here we go. Coming down the front stretch. They're dicing everywhere. Jeff Stewart's got it.
Jeff Stewart takes the victory. What a final race.
Where did that come from?
Attaboy, Jeffrey. Let's you know what? I feel at this point we have to. Let's while we wait for him to get in here, we're gonna go on board with Jeffrey Stewart on the final lap. Oh my. And just like Moses, look at that run right through the middle. Cooking down there. And at this point, you're just thinking, oh boy. Oh boy. Now this car has to get real wide. Real wide, real quick. Looking in your mirrors, trying to block. And Jeffrey Stewart wins the Patriot 100. So, attaboy, Jeffrey Stewart.
Wow.
So, attaboy, Jeffrey Stewart.
That's so cool. After just the absolute just heartache after bump day for Jeff to come through and win this race, put himself first alternate, that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so we're going to have to get drag Jeffrey Stewart down here to get ourselves an interview. Jeffrey Stewart, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
First of all, congratulations on winning the third running of the Crescent Donut Patriot 100.
Thank you, sir.
Second of all, take us through that race.
Where do you want to start at?
Well, we were kind of let's see if our assumptions were correct. You saw the front 4 or 5 mixing it up, and you just said, "Nope, don't want anything to do with that right now."
Pretty much. Yeah, your assumptions were correct on
that. The run down the backstretch coming on the white flag lap, when you split the waters and just went up the middle, what's going through the brain?
Either checkers or wreckers at that point. I'm coming off 2, and I'm like, I got a hell of a run, and they left the gap, and I just went for it.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most impressive things I've seen fake 500 wise. I saw that the hole was there, but I was like, I don't know if Jeff's going to be aggressive enough. And then, yes, you were, good sir. Congratulations on winning first alternate into the fake 500. You never know what happens, what's going to happen over the next couple of days. I know you enjoy this race quite a bit. You were in the top 5 the first year, was in contention last year as well. So hopefully we'll see you in there. But either way, Patriot 100 winner.
Yeah, I was super bummed when I had to make the field for the fake. Like, I thought I broke my steering wheel because I was so upset. But yeah, this whole event and everything that we all do and what Zane does and everybody comes together. It's beyond special. Honest to God, at this point, it's like I can't even really describe it. I get kind of choked up just thinking about it because it's guys like me who never got a chance to race anything in real life get a chance to come out here and do stuff like this and put on a show and get that feeling, the come across first on the yard of bricks, it's indescribable, and it's an undeniable feeling when you win something like this. It's just amazing.
Well, we're glad you're here, and paint looks good. Hopefully
that it does, thanks to you.
Hopefully we'll be seeing you next time for the 4th running of the Wicked Brands Fake 500, and just a heck of a week. Unfortunate didn't get into the show. You were definitely part of the bump day drama that we had. So, but just appreciate you coming out. And
I like making things exciting. If you haven't noticed.
yes, you did. You definitely made it exciting. It made it exciting on bump day, pulling your time 2 different times to try to improve on it, and just good to see. And I'm sure you got some people to thank, and we'll let you get out of here for the night. But good run, Jeffrey. Congrats on winning the Crescent Donut Patriot 100.
Thanks, brother. I'd like to thank everybody that was up Sim Sport. Without those guys and the support, and they wouldn't be able to do it. And everybody that's on the car, Rivco NDE, BS Air, Here Got Real Estate, Flow Racing, Paints by Tuna Can, Dano Seasoning, and I'm sure there's a laundry list of other people that I kind of forgetting right now because my brain's a little shot. And last, and honestly foremost, my girlfriend, for everything she does. She supports the hell out of me and all this little silly sim stuff I do, and I couldn't do it without her. And with everybody around me, it's nice to have an actual support system in my life for once. So thank you, everybody, and hopefully everybody gets entertained on Thursday when we run the big race. Can't wait to watch it, or maybe hopefully take part in it.
Well, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow night over on Dirt Vision too. So.
Oh yeah, going to get nasty at Kokomo and try to roll a 360 down the front stretch like Baden did a couple years ago after the first fake 500.
Hey, don't take my thing.
Well, good.
Somebody's got to keep up the tradition if you're not going to run it.
I'll do it. Game on.
Run to Indiana double, flip it upside down 27 times.
Let's do it.
Well, good luck tomorrow, Jeff, and we'll be seeing you the rest of the week, bud.
Thanks, brother.
We'll bring in Casey Miller. Casey Miller, second place in the Crescent Donut Patriot 100. Wild and interesting race. How was it from your cockpit? Maybe we have Casey, maybe not.
Hello.
There we go. Now we got you. Congrats on the second place run. I know it's not the race you wanted to be in, but we saw on Twitter the I don't know what I'm doing tweets earlier last week. But congrats on a second place run here, man.
Yeah, thank you. I still don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I ended up second here. I'm used to running sprint cars. The only thing that's the same on sprint cars is my tear off button, so
yeah,
it's big difference.
Yeah, and you get around in sprint cars pretty darn good. The PRO champion this year, and raced with you a few times and whooped me solidly at Williams Grove, if I remember correctly. So, heck of a shoe. Glad you came out. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you enjoyed yourself and had a good time, and hopefully we'll see you back next year.
Absolutely. This is a great event. I just wish I was faster. I can maybe get some more practice in ahead of next year's event.
Well, that's what we like to do. We like to, spoon feed and then throw you into the wolves, and then you're hooked. So, but good run today, man. That was well deserved. Showed good speed there, and hopefully we'll see you back next year.
Yep, thank you.
So there's Casey Miller, your second place finisher. We'll bring in Clint Stone. Clint, my man, made it exciting for most of the race. Congrats on the third place. It was a little rough for you, but congrats on that third place finish.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was, I don't know. I thought we were going to wreck a lot earlier than we did, but I don't know. I look back at it and maybe it's my fault, maybe. I don't know.
It's well, you've done this the last couple of years, so you really know how these races work out. They're really, really close, super tight racing, and just things happen. From our vantage point, it just looked like kind of everybody met in the middle and had an unfortunate incident, but was able to recover, come home third. So good job, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't put a lap on this set, so it wasn't the greatest. It was fast. It was really fast, but it didn't handle very good.
Well,
so I put too much time in qualifying, and I don't really know what happened there either. It was just aggravating.
The qualifying session was pretty wild. The bump day, it was definitely one of our more, I think, entertaining ones. One of the more wild ones we've had. So definitely, it was rather different compared to years past. But hopefully we'll see you back next year, and you still got a slim shot on the outside looking in. If a couple people drop out of the big race on Thursday, and But we appreciate you being here again, and hopefully we'll see you for the 4th.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all for putting it on.
That is Clint Stone, your 3rd place finisher. But before we get going for the night, Baden, some final thoughts. Looking forward to tomorrow and Thursday. What do you think about the race now?
We're not going to be able to do that for 200 laps. I can tell you that much. That was intense. I think 40 laps, pressure's on. Guys get a little antsy. I think we're going to see a little more calm race come Thursday, but at the end, it's going to look the exact same.
Yeah, I would agree. Coming to the checkered, that stuff's going to be expected. Last year we had a 4-wide finish in the fake. We've had ultra close finishes in almost every single race that we've put on with the night before, the Patriot, and the fake. So the model works. It's just a matter of making it work for 200 laps. So these guys are definitely going to have to do some homework and figure out what they need to do and how they need to race for 200 miles on Thursday. But we'll go ahead and end it here for the broadcast. And remember, tomorrow we are not on Elbows Up TV or on the Twitch channel. It's going to all be on the Dirt Vision stuff. So we'll be sharing links for that tomorrow from our Facebook and Twitters and all that sort of stuff. So be sure to check into Dirt Vision tomorrow. Going to be a hell of a night of sprint car racing at Kokomo for the Epperson painting night before the 500. And then we'll see you back here on Thursday for the big dance, the 3rd running of the Wicked Brands Fake 500, presented by Wheeler Motorsports Consulting.
These grounds are hallowed, forged by history and tradition, a century in the making. Its pavement the path to glory, its walls the punisher of miscalculation, its faces forever recognizable, characters of courage, and its stories unforgettable.
Danny Sullivan gets him! Danny Sullivan gets him! No, he's squirrely! No, he's spinning! Danny Sullivan spins! Can he make a move at the finish? He's making a move! No! No! No!
Who's gonna win it? The checkered flag is out. Goodyear makes a move. Little Al wins by.
You just don't know what Indy means.
This December, those hallowed grounds go virtual, pieced together by millions of pixels that capture every corner, every seat, and every crack along its surface. True to her real-life counterpart in every sense, the cars, perfectly drawn to scale, their sounds immaculate. Drivers from across the globe come together in competition and in friendship for one goal, one dream, to win and become part of history, to write their own chapter, to see through that they shall never be forgotten, to ensure their story is unforgettable.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The alignment looks good and the green flag is out. They're off. The fake 500 is on.
But look at Kevin
Come
Click on the
Kevin
outside.
Click.
Wow.
Kevin Click out on bump day, makes it in as an alternate, and now he is leading the fake 500.
Click tries to squeeze, contact. Checker flag waits over the stand. At the stripe, another close finish, and this time it's set to Merchant.
Checkered flag is out. Brian Blackford puts it on the pole. Oh no!
Crash in turn 1.
He got off a 4 extremely good. What? He had a fuel!
It's elegant. It's erratic. The one who can dance gently amongst the chaos and master their craft shall etch their name in eternity and shall never be forgotten.